Yo, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another video. We've got quite a bit of info to get through today. Lots of games have kind of dropped, been announced, and there's even news about games still being released on the Xbox One and the PS4. I know we're living in crazy times where those formats are just not being left behind, but they still do have a pretty healthy user base. So it's not surprising that these companies are simply not letting them go because people just don't have that reason to upgrade, especially with cloud gaming being there right now. You don't even need to buy an Xbox Series console or an actual PS5 anymore. They've both decided that they're going to venture into the cloud platform, and I'm going to be covering the Portal in a different video. But it's crazy to see just how far gaming has come and how widespread it's getting, where you don't even need the consoles anymore to actually play the games. But the first thing we're going to cover in this video, of course, is what you're seeing on screen right now. There is a state of play happening at 2 p.m. PT on Tuesday, which is tomorrow. You'll probably see this video on Tuesday, but that means it's at 10 p.m. my time, which is perfect for when I am actually streaming. I am going to be co-streaming this so we can check out all the cool stuff that's going to be happening. So if you're about tomorrow and want to check this out with me and the gang over on YouTube, feel free to tune in to this channel where we'll be live and checking it out while talking about all the other news, including some of the stuff that's in this video. Of course, that's not it, right? Because there is the Golden Joystick Awards, which is happening next Thursday on November the 20th, 2 days before my birthday. This is actually going to start at around 4 o'clock with a 3:30 p.m. kind of startup. Now, I am going to try and actually stream this as well on Thursday, so we may have a earlier stream than anticipated and skip the evening stream and let the kind of earlier stream go on for a little longer, or I will potentially skip this and we can watch it later in the evening. But I think watching it live is kind of a lot better. So we will see how that goes. We'll talk about it in the stream tomorrow or today, depending on again when you're watching this. Now, it's been a lot of Bethesda news going lately, and of course, the rumored Fallout 3, just like Jess said as well. But according to VGC, Bethesda is currently working on a Fallout 3 remaster. Now, we have known about this for a while, and they've been talking about it, they've been hinting it, and they've been kind of pushing in the direction to get these games modernized and then broken and then fixed for the new platforms. Because let's face it, Fallout 3 hasn't aged well. You need to add a ton of mods in order to make it look great, and that adds a lot of bloat in terms of memory size. Trust me, I've been there. But maybe with this remastered edition, they'll be able to up the textures, make it look great, and just get all the things that we want in there without having to add too many mods. But as with anything Bethesda, modding is the way to go. But this will probably land in time for the actual show, which is going to be based around New Vegas. You'd think that they'd try and get the New Vegas remastered, but that's not the case here, and that's not what's going to happen. It looks like Fallout 3 Remastered is going to land sometime around the season 2 of the Fallout show. Now, we also know that Fallout 4, the anniversary edition, everyone liked that, is available today. It's actually dropped. However, if you actually have all the actual upgrades and all the updates and you've paid for them along the way, there is going to be, I believe, a free bundle for you. Or is it a, as you can see by Cambi over there, over $20 for the creations bundle? Are you out of your mind? Damn. uh I heard that it was actually supposed to be free, but it's not. You can just get the creations model, but if you've got most of these, then they also do give you a bunch of free stuff. So you don't have to go and buy the anniversary edition of the game, or you can just buy the upgrade, whichever way it is. The anniversary edition has launched. This is getting silly. They've kind of hit the point of remastering and re-releasing this game almost as many times as Skyrim and The Last of Us. At some point, it's got to stop, right? But as long as people are paying for it and as long as people are buying it, these companies will continue to do that. But if you've been looking to get back involved with Fallout 4, this is a great time. Just, I've heard it's completely broken and there's lots of bugs and all the mods are broken and lots of artifacting going on, and well, it's typical Bethesda jank. So nothing to really complain about, even though I'm sure some people are now going to complain. But we've all lived through it. We've all been there. We've all done that, and you can't really say it's a Bethesda game without it releasing with some jank. And unfortunately, we've been kind of conditioned to accept that. But realistically, games shouldn't be re-released or an anniversary edition or something like that, whatever it is, in the state that it's coming out in. I've seen Colt's clip where the game just completely and utterly is just blown out with artifacting everywhere and the graphics just blurring all over the place. It's not even his graphics card at this point. It's just rough. But I do know that the mods have been broken and they're not working, even the ones that you paid for apparently. So yeah, not the best launch for Fallout 4, but a typical launch for Fallout. Todd Howard said The Elder Scrolls 6 is still a long way off. Now, this was announced God knows how long ago, almost 7 years ago, when they released that trailer with Fable. But hey, it just goes to show, don't release a goddamn teaser when you're 10 or 15 years out. But he's saying it's still a long way off. So that doesn't mean like 1 or 2 years. We're talking about 3 to 5, maybe 6 years. This will not be landing this generation. And there's a good chance that it won't even land the next generation. But I'm hoping at some point in the next generation it will land. Unless you're on PC, then there is no generation. It's just what graphics card generation and CPU generation you're on. But that's really it. He says, I just like to announce stuff and release it. My perfect vision. And I'm not saying this is going to happen. Is that it's going to be a while and then one day the game will just appear. So basically, there is no ETA on this. They're pretty far, early into development. I was going to say far in, but it's far away from release, I was going to say. But yeah, they're really early in development and it's just something that's thing. So he likes to just announce things and release them. That's why they announced it 7 years ago. I mean, it is true, but I suspect this will land around 2030, maybe 2031, 2032. But if they are a long way off, 2030 seems like a reasonable date. Earliest I can see this is like a 28. But yeah, 28 to 30 is realistic, which is a shame for those that have been looking forward to the Elder Scrolls for the past 7 years, because now it's going to be 15. And if you actually had a child during that time, your kids are already getting ready to venture out into the world on their own. Kind of puts it into perspective, doesn't it? Valve hardware. Now, we know Valve are cooking something up. We know they've got the Decade, which is the VR headset with a Steam Deck slapped to your face. But there are also been rumors about a console that they've been working on that's going to come out. And well, the new Valve hardware, potentially including highly anticipated Steam Frame VR headset, which is the Decade, and a new Steam controller could be announced as early as Wednesday. Now, this is essentially supposed to be the controller. Now, these trackpads are pretty awesome. I know people don't like them, but I'm a huge fan of the trackpads, especially in just usability and whatnot. But it also acts like a mouse, right? And it gives you that flexibility and freedom that these analog sticks just don't give you. This is supposed to be the actual controller. It looks like an Xbox controller, but the analog sticks are more PlayStation orientated, mainly because of where the trackpads are. You've got the same Xbox layout for the buttons, the same Xbox layout for the three buttons up here, the back, options, Steam button, and whatever button. That's going to be probably like a menu button to bring up the options like it does on the Steam Deck. So that is awesome. It's beautiful. I need a day one. I'm not sure how beautiful that actually is. I don't know. I'll let you guys be the judge of that. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you've made it this far, do consider leaving a like, subscribe, hit that bell to stay up to date with all content I release. We are really close to 8,000 subs. I'd really like to get there before the end of November. We've got a lot of streams coming up as well in terms of the actual global awards. We've got other stuff. And in December, we've got the Game of the Year awards as well. So really hope that you can continue supporting what I do. If you are new to the channel, do consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does open doors and opportunity to me. And if you can like the video, it really does help with the YouTube algorithm. All right, back to the actual show. Silent Hill F. Now, this one is an interesting one. According to Konami site, Silent Hill F could be coming to Switch and Switch 2, as well as last gen consoles, PS4 and Xbox One. And you can see it over here where they've actually put down a bunch of the actual machines. Now, this could be an error, obviously, but Silent Hill F is supposed to be a pretty decent game. I just received a review code for this game, so I'm really excited to check this out and get into it. But what's interesting about this, sorry I hit the mic, is the fact that these companies are still supporting last gen. We are 5-6 years into the next generation, but the adoption rate from the previous gen to the next gen is really starting to show the effects. How these companies simply aren't and willing to go back. I mean, Nintendo Switch has 143 million users, which is insane. You know, this is why they're going to try and get this game available on there. Nintendo themselves have already said we don't believe in generations and are moving forward. But the game is going to be available on the Switch and Switch 2, and it's obviously going to run better on the Switch 2. But the fact that they can potentially get this game running on the Switch means that, collectively between these, you're looking at 250, 300 million users. That's insane. And that's why these companies are still supporting this. The generations was a good thing, but ultimately it also had a knock-on effect, which meant that people just didn't need to upgrade. And with cloud gaming coming along, that gave people even less of a reason. And with, cloud dedicated cloud devices like the G Cloud, you've got the Portal, and you've got other devices as well that just act as a solely cloud device where you can play xCloud, PlayStation Now, and so forth, GeForce Now. It's becoming more and more evident that these hardwares that people used to rely on as day-to-day consoles aren't the thing anymore. So people aren't finding that need to upgrade to the next generation by paying $500 to $800 in order to get them. They're just sitting there and enjoying what they've got and able to continue through cloud for those that are able to cloud. Interesting times. But the big story today, Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition has landed. Let me know if you've picked it up and how it's running for you, whether you're playing it on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, wherever you're playing it. I'd love to hear how it's actually running for you personally, because I've seen only people complaining about it, which is no surprise, because if you don't have a problem, you're not going to be on Twitter crying about it. But here we are. Anyway, folks, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out, and see you tonight on live stream. I'm out. Remain legend.